Okay, so this first part is basically just modeling the character, just putting it together. It doesn't have to be fully colored or anything, it just has to look like it. You might notice I'm making a lot of things differently colored. This is so I can see it better for now, just as I'm modeling it all together. Okay, now I'm moving to the actual coloring and material part of it. It's just making sure it looks the finalized good that I want it to look. You can always edit it later too. Just for some things you might not want to do this until after animation because, like, say you have an all black model, you won't be able to see what you're animating. Like if this were all black and I tried animating it, it would be so much harder. Okay, this is gonna be a long one. Now it's getting into the actual rigging up the model to be playable. Basically, I use two plugins, one to place the bones and one to move them where I want. You want to union the stuff together that's the same material and will always move together. That just makes it look nicer and be easier on yourself. And you do, as you're making this, also want to make sure each part has collisions and can touch off. In the end, the only parts that typically have these depends on the model. For collisions, you could set it to your torso or head, basically whatever you want to collide with things. And can touch is what you want to be able to trigger events, like teleports or seats. You'll also notice I use a script to change everything's name to something unique. Your character needs to have at least a torso and head and humanoid root part named in it, but everything else still needs a unique name or else it won't be able to animate. You'll also notice I'm putting a lot of copies of it off to the side, and that's just to make sure if something were to go wrong, I'd have backups to use so I don't have to start fresh. These joints are basically just placed where I want to bend from. So if you have an arm and you don't move the bone, it'll spin around the center of itself and not where the shoulder would be without moving it. Now I'm getting to the actual animating of it. I typically do the idle or sit first because they're easier than the walk in my opinion for most things, especially custom creatures like this. It's just normal animating once you have it set up, and you definitely should use a reference if it's something inhuman, or even if it is a human if you haven't animated much before. You'll learn a lot about how things shift their weight, and you can do a lot of cool things in the animation process, but that's mostly up to experimentation. I also scripted it in-game, which is from the custom script I made, so I'm not exactly sure how to explain that, other than I set the right animation script to it, and made sure the character can transform into it. Once you have the animation done, it's just make sure it's looped or unlooped and its priority is set to the right thing. Idle for sit and idle, movement for jump and walk, and whatever else. And then publish it under the owner of the game, whether that's a group or person. Roblox will not use the animation if that requirement's not met. And then lastly is just kind of testing it and doing whatever little tweaks it needs to make sure it works fully.